Hello fellow YouTubers, in this video I'm going to be doing a review of this Lenovo Y50-70 laptop. Now this is a gaming laptop. It has Core i7 CPU. I'm going to actually put on the specs here on top. So it has Core i7 CPU. It has a GTX 860m graphics, which is 4 gigabytes of GDDR5, nice to have. And this is the newest architecture. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. And it has 256 gigabytes of SSD storage. So everything is nice except one thing. This particular version is only €1,000 or $1,000 cost, and for that I had to actually lose the Windows 8.1. That's right, Lenovo actually offers this laptop without any operating system, but what you gain in comparison with the same laptop with 8.1 Windows version is you get, instead of 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Instead of 1 gigabyte of storage, hard drive storage, you get 256 SSD. And what else there is? Oh yeah, that's right. If I'm not mistaken, instead of GPU, instead of getting GTX 860m 2 gigabyte version, you're getting 4 gigabyte version. Not a big deal in terms of the GPU, but it's always nice to have, and it's a good selling point in case you want to upgrade this laptop to something else. Now, in terms of physical looks, that's the laptop. Two things most YouTubers complain about is the trackpad and the screen. Now, in terms of the trackpad, hope you guys can see it. Not much flex there, it's working fine. Multi-touch experience is not great, but I think that's more to do with Windows other than anything else. The keyboard is very nice, by the way. Just before I talk about the screen, I'm going to show you the keyboard. So we have a backlight here, as you see. 2 brightness levels, and it's bright enough in any lighting conditions to see the backlight, but it's not too bright, especially on the first level if you want to use it in complete darkness. What else? The flex of the keyboard, not much. By the way, guys, you probably already noticed this is a German keyboard layout. That's not what I've ordered. I bought it from Amazon UK, and I got it with UK keyboard layout. Sorry, German keyboard layout. Brick is the same. However, the actual plug was a German plug, so I used my own, and all the manuals were in German language. However, just for the purpose of this review, the English and German and any other language versions should be identical in terms of their hardware performance and looks. Anyway, here we have an HD camera. It actually is quite a good camera. It's not a bad camera at all. It's 720p only, but that's enough. Dual microphone, so microphone array as they advertise. The vents are here. Hope you guys can see them. So that's for exhaust. And for intake, we have here. Has 3 rubber feet. It's absolute fingerprint magnet. Has a mini subwoofer here. Sounds about as good as €20, $20 external PC speakers. For the laptop, it's good. Nothing to compare with really in terms of the performance of the decent speakers, obviously. Now, here on the back we have something that looks like an exhaust grills. It's not, that's just aesthetics. I don't know what happened there with Lenovo, whether they just wanted to make it look good or whether it was a last minute decision not to go with that. Now, in terms of inputs, outputs, that's just an extension of the speaker grill. We have a power connection, and that's reversible, so you can plug it in any way you want. That's nice touch. You have a gigabit LAN port, full-size HDMI, 2 USB 3.0, 1 USB 2.0, Kensington lock slot, SD card slot, microphone/headphone slot, SPDIF slot. That's it. That's all. No other ports. So that's a big minus already in my book for something like a gaming laptop. I think it would need to have at least 4 USB 3.0, or at least 3 USB 3.0 and maybe one USB 2.0 port, something like that, and more display outputs than that. I know it's an underpowered GPU, but if you are working with some sort of productivity software, one output is a joke. Anyway, here are some LED indicators, so power, battery, SSD or hard drive use, whatever you've chosen, and here for the trackpad. So when the trackpad is disabled, this thing lights up. Talking about lighting up, let's go back to the screen a little bit and talk negatives. If you look at this screen, it's a nice looking screen. I'm just gonna focus a bit. 1080p panel, also they also do them in 4K flavors, but this one is 1080p, and they don't do IPS panel, and the TN panel looks like this. And check this out. Horrible. So in terms of viewing angles, forget about it. It's not a great laptop for that, and I would recommend you to look elsewhere if a good screen is what matters to you. And if you are a laptop user, you have to remember this, that it doesn't matter where you take this laptop, good screen is not going to be available always to you, so you're going to have to rely on this, and this is not the best screen. So already a big drawback. Back to sound, JBL sound for Lenovo. Once again, nice enough sounding, but nothing unusual. Here, by the way, you have a restore button over here, and here's the power button. And that's about it, guys. Some LEDs, by the way, here for the caps lock, for the num lock. But that's it in terms of external overview. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the performance. So what I've done there is I ran Tomb Raider, Metro Last Light, 3D Mark, and performance test. I'm going to basically go through all the figures first, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit what I think about it. So Tomb Raider actually ran at quite high settings, and I got average of 29.1 FPS, so that's not bad at all. Metro Last Light also I ran at quite a high settings on 1080p, if not maximum settings, and I got average of 15.7. Now, while that might seem low, it's actually quite a high, settings level chosen for the actual benchmark. So obviously when you're playing that game, you don't need to go anywhere that far. But that's that. Anyway, the performance was quite good. In terms of 3D Mark, I got on the Firestrike 3700, Skydive I got 11,300, Cloudgate 13,900, Ice Storm 85,900. So decent performance overall, nothing groundbreaking, but actually very good for the budget gaming laptop. And once again, guys, this is a €1,000 or $1,000 version. Unfortunately, doesn't come with the OS installed. That's why I have the evaluation version, as you can see in the corner here, just to try it out first. Works fine within Windows 8.1, no issues whatsoever, and quiet enough except for one thing. Has a little ticking noise somewhere coming from somewhere here, and I'm not quite sure whether it's some sort of fan trying to kick in but not quite doing it, or whatever it is, but it is annoying. I'm gonna play it now for you. So that's that, and it is audible and you can hear it clearly, especially when the laptop is on idle, which is most of the time when you might be doing some reading or something like that, so you don't need any ticking noise. So that's a bit drawback, and I saw on the forums a few users complaining about that as well. In terms of the temperatures, however, temperatures are quite good. CPU and GPU running around 40 degrees in the room where ambient temperature is about 18 degrees. So not too bad. And even better when you're putting full load on it, CPU goes to only about 70 degrees and GPU goes to only about 64 degrees. I think it's throttling down, but I didn't have enough time to actually check that. But it seems like it is, because the temperatures are very low for a gaming notebook. And especially having in mind that it doesn't have a great exhaust system there. So that's that. Now, I'm not going to talk about, more about the software, anything like this. I'm gonna just explain to you what I think about that laptop, how do I feel about that laptop, and whether I recommend it to you, and if I do, who would I recommend it for. So overall, in terms of the physical aspects, I like this laptop. One thing I don't like is this brushed aluminum. Now, it's very nice looking and things like that, but it's not my favorite, and it does attract a lot of fingerprints. So not really sure how to take it. I wouldn't, put it this way, it wouldn't scare me away from buying this laptop, but I would like to have some other material that doesn't attract fingerprints like that. But at the same time, you know, it gives that premium look and feel to the laptop, so that's fine. In terms of the external ports, I would like at least 2 more USBs, even if it's a USB 2.0, especially since this is a gaming laptop and it could be replacing your desktop for, you know, nothing too heavy in terms of the performance. Also, what I would like to have is maybe a display port, so HDMI and a display, especially since knowing that this graphics card already have these ports, so Lenovo could easily implement that. Another thing is display. Now guys, I can see 2 types of people buying this. One, for somebody that travels a lot and wants to use maybe Adobe Premiere Pro for encoding and video editing and maybe some After Effects. And for that, the screen is absolute rubbish, not usable at all. And second is the actual gamer who maybe doesn't travel all that often but would like to game on the laptop where the footprint is less and things like that. And while gamer could live with a screen of this quality, because in games it's actually quite responsive, so it's very nice screen in terms of the responsiveness, colors and everything else, rubbish. But here's another thing. Once you unplug the power brick, the performance drops significantly straight away. If you're moving around the house and you don't mind this performance drop once you unplug it, it's fine. But do keep it in mind that the moment you're going to unplug it, you're not going to get the same performance. Performance is going to drop quite significantly. So bear that in mind. So other than the screen and the outputs, I don't really have much to complain about except for that mentioned ticking noise. And I'm not sure if Lenovo addressed that or if they can address it or if it's just some of the units affected. Not sure about that at all. But it is there and there's no hard drive in it. It's an SSD, so there should be no ticking noises whatsoever. So that's that. So yeah, except for the screen inputs and outputs and maybe that ticking noise, I would say it's a nice laptop. However, these excepts are actually quite big selling points to me. If you don't have a nice screen, you can't enjoy your laptop properly, you have to plug it into external monitor. If you don't have enough ports, you have to buy some external port extensions or something like that. So basically you're building a desktop machine instead of using it as it is. So for gaming laptop, doesn't really go in my books as a good laptop to recommend for you guys that want to replace a desktop PC. Maybe try to wait and see if Asus G751 offers something a bit more. Now this is much slimmer laptop. If you look at the thickness of the laptop, it's not as thick as other gaming laptops, and for the price it's actually quite a nice and sleek looking machine. But the drawbacks really draw me away from this machine and I really want to stay away from it. So yeah, that's that. By the way, just something to mention, I suppose. Laptop comes packaged with this foam. It's a nice and strong foam for shipping PCs and laptops, so that's fine. But also what you can do is another piece is exactly the same. You can put it on each side of the laptop. That way, lifting laptop up a bit and getting a proper airflow in. So it's a nice addition. I'm not sure if anybody will use that, but it's nice to have in the box. It's a nice thought, and I hope Lenovo will keep doing something like that for most of their laptops. But anyway, guys, that about sums it up in terms of review. I'm just going to show you quick B-roll there just to show you around the laptop and show you the ports and what it looks like with the keys lit up. But overall, unfortunately, I will not be getting one with UK keyboard. I will stick to desktop PC for the moment, unless Asus produces something with the IPS panel, similar specifications and similar price point. But yeah, we had to see about that. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. And any comments or questions, leave them at the comment section down below. And yeah, have a nice day.